Welcome to the Breakfast Club. I'm Jonathan Katz. I do two different things. I own Blendy by nighttime, and during the day, I'm a financial advisor at Raymond James. And I wanted to say thank you all for taking the time to spend your morning here with the DLE Breakfast Club, as this is our last program for the year, and it's December, so it's holiday season. So thanks, and everybody's pretty busy. Obviously, the goal of this program is is designed to promote some chatting and participation amongst everybody, and we want to keep it smaller so that way we can really facilitate conversation. And we encourage you all to turn your cameras on, which most of you are. And we've learned through more than our 18 months of hosting these virtual programs that connecting in the community like we all are now is vastly important. So again, thank you all for being here. And with that, I'll let Danielle kick it off.
Thanks, John. So to kick off our discussion this morning, the first one is, how has the hybrid workspace changed your holiday traditions and celebrations this year or last year from the norm? You're welcome to come off mute and let us know what your changes have been.
I'll start because that was a pretty big change for me. Hi, I'm MacLeod. I'm based in Boston. I'm also an advisor, but with Merrill Lynch, actually. And I'm sure John can kind of attest to this. The going virtual was tough for us because in finance, everything has to be, very private because you're having really private conversations. And it was tough to pivot from the office to a work from home environment. One, technology-wise, and two, compliance-wise. How do you do it correctly with respecting privacy laws and stuff? And then in my position, you cannot, you create your own schedule and you create your own time to find clients and service clients and stuff. And that was hard to do that when we went fully from home. But now that we're a hybrid, I actually do a few days in the office and a few days from home. And it does help a lot, and it helps me structure the day better. And that I think I'm gonna keep that permanently once we go full time in the office in January. I'm gonna still stay hybrid, where I could do 1 day from home or 2 days from home, and then the rest in the office. Because being in the office does help. Being with your peers does help. Just one, stay motivated. Two, stay true to yourself and your schedule. And three, it's easier to get stuff done when you have a quick question. You can just pop your head up and say, hey, I need some help, as opposed to in being from home, you have to call somebody, wait in like a queue, or email somebody, wait 24 hours. It's a pain. So yeah, I'll stop there. But
Khaled, I have a question for you. Now that you're hybrid like that, has it impacted how you celebrate the holidays at all? Like, have you been able to spend more time with family because of that?
Oh yeah, great question. Yeah, no, actually, I've been traveling to Denver a lot. I'm sure you guys can attest to that. I spent about a weekend every 2 months there, which is, rare for me. My family lives in Denver. So I'm the only one here, so I'm mostly travel over there. And actually, I'm gonna spend a whole week there, starting, the 20th of December for that reason, which is really nice. So that's kind of been a big blessing to be able to see them often, because before it was, see them every 3 months for a quick overnight or 2 days, or 2 to 3 days, which was tough. But sometimes you make it work. And so I do appreciate that. Good question, John. Thank you.
That's great, Colette. I know I totally understand when you come to family and hybrid, it makes it so much better because you can literally work from anywhere. So I can appreciate what you mean by spending time with family. How about anybody else? Anything different in your holiday traditions and celebrations working from home or in a hybrid environment? Go ahead, Alyssa.
Yeah, I think last year, everyone knows I really struggled. I was doing community organizing work, and it was really, really hard. We used to have this, with Berkshire Bridges, we used to have this, holiday get-togethers all the time and see each other in the office. And what we wound up doing was supervisors went and dropped like gift bags and treats off at staff's houses, and just was like, and would send a little note like, hey, an elf left something at your door. And it just made people feel like, because we hadn't seen each other in person last year really at all. And so we dropped those things off, and sometimes we'd run into each other when we did that, and it was all like, oh my gosh. For my family though, we just, we were just careful, and we just spent the holidays together. It just wasn't a big holiday. Like, we used to have a really big holiday party that would have like 50 to 90 people, but we haven't had that party.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. Thanks for sharing, Alyssa. Anyone else?
Yeah, so
Yeah, go for it, Kevin.
sure. So at One Berkshire, we usually have just a kind of a smaller staff party just with the One Berkshire staff. And last year, it didn't make sense to get everybody all in the same space all at once, so we did that virtually. Kind of a different look, having a holiday party on Zoom, and the party itself looked a little different. There were some like online activities and quizzes and stuff like that, but we had a good time. We did a kind of a Secret Santa, and everyone had to have their gifts delivered or mailed prior to, and so that was still fairly normal. That was cool, but definitely a different experience.
Well, thanks for sharing. It sounds like you and Alyssa had a similar thought then, or companies did, with, mailing things out to still make people feel appreciated. So that's great. So I know we talked a little bit about like hybrid. Is there anything different from last year to this year that is planned? Because I know this year, before everybody kind of jumped on, Linda and I were talking about some events that are in person right now. Is your company planning an in-person holiday party, or you're still all virtual? What's different?
I can go again real quick. So my company has not done anything in person. We cannot have in-person client meetings in the office, but we can outside of the office, whether it's the person's home where they're comfortable or some neutral spot like a coffee shop or something like that, respecting privacy laws.
Sure.
But there have been some professional groups that I am part of here in Boston that have done the first in-person event, and it's been really nice. And to be honest with you, I went to my first one 2 weeks or last week actually, and like my first professional networking event. And while I was walking up there, I had a really weird anxiety feeling. I was like, oh my God, why am I feeling anxious? And it was because I've been so cooped up. Like, yeah, I've seen people, but like it's a different level when you're like networking professionally, I think. And it was interesting, but there were a lot of protocols to do that, make sure you're vaccinated, report it. If not, you can't come, which is actually really comfortable for me. And the space was pretty big, so people were able to spread out nicely as they were comfortable with. But company-wise, nothing yet scheduled for like a staff or anything.
Did you have to show a vaccination card, Colette?
So yes, we had to show proof. And actually, Mass MGH, like the whole patient gateway situation, has like a QR code. You can just show that without showing any privacy details. So they just scan it, like, oh yeah, vaccinated. So it's actually kind of nice that you can do that without actually giving up a lot of your personal information.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Well, thanks for sharing, Khaled.
Of course.
We have something similar at General Dynamics right now. They've asked each of us to like do out a disclosure form. So those who are vaccinated have filled out the disclosure form. And then of course, I think you all know, like we were all getting ready to do that vaccine mandate, and then they just, kind of pulled that back for now. So everybody had to be in there regardless of vaccine status. So that was really interesting. So anybody else, what's different from last year to this year?
Wish
I'll go ahead,
more, to be
Danielle.
honest.
What's that, John?
I said I wish more, to be honest, but not much. I think the only difference is that is that people are probably more willing to do in-person stuff, which is good. But no office parties as of right now or anything like that. Same as last year, but obviously in 2019 there was office parties and people were getting more together. I think what's the only benefit that I can see, and kind of what Khaled alluded to, is that you get to spend more time with family, right? If you're working from home, you can work from anywhere, and you can spend it at your parents or your family's house, wherever it may be, and be more comfortable, I suppose, and spend the holidays with your loved ones, which is good. I don't know if anyone else is anybody having Christmas parties or anything, or holiday parties, stuff like that? Is that coming back this year or no?
I was gonna have a
Not for
small
Pittsfield.
gathering with some friends, but that's about it.
Is it like an annual thing that you do, Nick, or it's just a one-off get together this year?
It'll probably be the first annual since they just moved to the Boston area and want to host us.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
Well, I hope you have a great time.
thanks.
So,
Should be
so
good.
Danielle and I were talking before we started the program. How important are work-related holiday parties? I mean, when they happened in the past, what do you think were like the best benefits of going to those?
I know that's the one time that I shook Carlo Zaffanella's hand. So that's the only time I've ever met Carlo, the president of General Dynamics, in person, which was, I still hold that in my mind and I picture it clear as day.
Yeah, I remember always going to the holiday party. It was something that I really enjoyed with General Dynamics. And like, for those who haven't been there, General Dynamics hosts every year a huge holiday party between about 800 people all go, and they rent out the stationery factory in Dalton or another venue, and they have hors d'oeuvres and various different events. And we all dress up very well. Everyone comes in suits and cocktail dresses. So it's a really cool, once a year thing.
So this
Yeah.
is like a mass savings for companies. I mean, that's a very expensive endeavor.
Well, we were talking about that. So while I would say yes, now we've decided to do a holiday gift for everybody, for every employee, and ship it to their home. So before, we were only hosting the people who went to the party, and now we're allocating money for every employee. So I don't know if it's a savings or equal or less.
So how does it work? The gift.
So this year, and our General Dynamics folks, you correct me, but this year we got a holiday gift link, and it said, hey, come pick out, you were unable to do holiday parties this year, pick out a holiday gift and we'll ship it to your house, or you can come pick it up at a GD facility. And so we had a couple options of like a sweatshirt, a cheese board, a blanket set, and a couple little things with anything with the GD logo on it.
So I think they reduce costs by having people local to like Pittsfield go into the facility to pick up their gifts.
Mhm.
And then others that aren't local, they'll ship into them. So they're saving costs there. Last year they sent them out to everyone's home. So yeah, the cost is probably about the same as the party, because if I'm not mistaken, the event planners had a budget of about 19,000 for doing the event at the Berkshire, was it the brew house or the Shire?
Yeah, the
in
station
Dalton.
factory.
Yep, and then before that, it was at the Crown Plaza. So we would go all out every holiday. We do a
Did you
big,
fit
big
800
event.
people at the Crown Plaza?
Yes, we
Wow.
could accommodate that. Not everyone showed up though.
Right.
Fair enough.
And everyone
But it
brought
is-
somebody?
I did
Yes.
every year.
Yeah, everyone gets a +1.
It was fun.
I
miss
never
it.
went.
I mean, as as the +1, I miss it too. I love parties.
And it's not just the party, it's the networking, to meet people in the organization that you probably pass every day, but you've never had that connection. So I could share this with everyone that I think the last one we had, I met individuals that actually ended up, I think it was Tim Goggins' parents because we were chatting at the event the other night, and he was telling me that who his mother was, and I said, "Oh yeah, I think it was the last event that I met her and your father. Just out of the blue, we were standing in line, they were talking, joking, and it just that's how it happens. You just very friendly, very sociable, and it was a great moment, So I kind of miss that. We don't have that anymore. And being on site, we didn't do any of that last year. We social distance, in the team that I was working in, that was just our requirement. We go about our business and go home. And this year, I'm doing an online meeting with Sarah and the team that we're gonna have a little holiday get together, have some food, and bring your favorite drink or whatever. So that should be interesting compared to not doing anything from last year.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ted. Anybody else have something going on this year, whether virtually or that they feel like they're missing out on their holiday party? No.
I will say, like, my work has not done anything holiday related, just like send like a message email saying thank you very much for what you do, happy holidays, which that was last year. This year there's no talk about a holiday party or a virtual gathering, so I suspect it's going to be the same thing, which, to keep it short, that sucks. Like, I do I do miss it, and like the networking that theater mentioned, like, it's huge. That now that when I'm in the office, I'm sure if I see somebody new or somebody I haven't talked to for a while, like I reintroduce myself or I say hi again, because like you don't know who you're gonna meet or how they're gonna help you, how you're gonna help them in their office. But actually the SU Alumni Club in Boston just did a holiday party last Tuesday, which I went to. It was small. It was, again, COVID safe protocols and everything, but it was awesome to see everybody again, people I haven't seen in years, crazily. And I'm like, wow, like last time I saw somebody, you were just gonna get married. Now you have a kid and one on the way. It's like, what is going on? It's time, that much time has passed by, and it was nuts, and I do miss that.
What was the size?
I say about 25 people.
Yep. So that helps us, because we're really looking at what's the size people are most comfortable for to do in person in 22. And it seems like that's the size that resonates most.
But I actually asked this question to them, and I've been to a few weddings this past year that were bigger than 25 people. And I kind of just floated the question discreetly. If people want to come and they're COVID safe, like if it's up to them, like they're gonna show up. I think people are kind of tired of being cooped up. But from the marketing planning perspective, between 25 and 30 people is what I keep hearing being the number, Linda. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Kevin, what are you guys doing? What's your max that you're allowing?
Right now, still very, very small. We are doing an in-person event this year for our holiday party, but it's literally just the One Berkshire staff, which is not that different from what we have historically done anyway. But that's literally just the 10 of us in our boardroom, which is pretty sizable. But I wanted to actually go back to something that that college touched on, and we've sort of gotten a sense of as we've been talking about how important holiday parties are. I do think that a structured time to be with your colleagues and not be talking about work-related things is pretty important, I think, in the grand scheme, in terms of it helps develop a sense of stickiness to an employer. It makes it less of a just task-oriented all the time thing, which when you talk about employers trying to retain people right now, I do think that's one of the things that helps with retention.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think not only, I'm sure you guys are having the same problem, but General Dynamics is also having a problem keeping employees and keeping talent, and even, getting talent. And that's not just a General Dynamics or One Berkshire, it's all across the country. So I can totally agree with that. You know, when I feel appreciated, I want to do more and I want to stay with the company.